Hi, once again, this is Joe Miller, workers' compensation attorney, trial attorney, Virginia, North Carolina. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about one of what I consider to be the closely guarded secrets in workers' compensation law. And that is the idea of marketing your residual capacity. That's a fancy way of saying looking for a job after your doctor releases you to light duty. Just take an example, 6 months before the hearing, your doctor releases you to some kind of light duty. And as you're going toward this hearing, the hearing's coming up, and you're still under light duty. And as you get into the hearing, you're still on light duty. And you didn't think you had to look for work or anything like that. You get to the hearing, and here's what's going to happen. He's only going to award you money up to the time that you were released by the doctor. From that point forward, you ain't getting nothing. Why? Because unless you know about this, and again, this is what I consider to be a closely held secret in workers' compensation law, unless you looked for enough work to prove that you couldn't find work within your capacity, you ain't getting nothing past that date. So what happened? What happened is you did not market your residual capacity to work. The doctor released you to light duty. That means you could have done something, even if it's lifting 5 pounds, but you could have done something. People often say, well, I don't know what else I could do. You have to look for work within your capacity. There are certain jobs that almost everybody can do. You are required under the law, unfortunately, to look for those jobs if you want to obtain money for the time that you are out of work while you're under light duty. Now, this only applies in a denied claim or any claim where you are not under an open award. Okay? And we have other videos on that where we discuss that. And if you want to know about what an open award is and why it's important, I really highly recommend that you watch that video as well. The Virginia Workers' Compensation Commission requires that you look for a minimum of 5 jobs per week to satisfy them that you have made an effort to look for work, and assuming you can't find any work within those restrictions, that you are entitled to ongoing compensation, despite the fact that you've been released by your doctor to light duty. So how do we fix that? If you were one of our clients, what we would do is we would send you what we call a marketing package. In other words, it's a package designed to help you fulfill your obligation to look for work so that the commission understands when the time comes to get to a hearing, the commission understands that you have looked for work and you have looked for enough work to where they're going to be satisfied. You do that by showing them what's called a job log. This is a kind of a graphic thing that we have that shows where did you look for the job, what job you looked for, who'd you talk to, what's the phone number, what's the address, what was the outcome. And you got to do that for every single job you look for. What we recommend is actually that you look for a minimum of 7 to 10 jobs a week, because for one reason or another, sometimes things screw up. You don't want the commission's if you only got that minimum 5 jobs, you don't want the commission to cross off a couple, and then there's a week that you're not going to get your compensation. Better to look for 7 to 10 jobs a week. A lot of folks look at this and say, Miller, why are you making us do all this work? What's that all about? I can't look for the jobs for you. What we can do is make it a little easier for you to find the jobs by sending you this marketing package, and in that package is also some ways for you to look for a job that make it a little bit easier for you. Now, there are 2 main requirements that you have to meet to fulfill this, in addition to looking for the minimum 5 jobs a week. It's got to be, number 1, a job that is within those restrictions. If you're only restricted to a 5-pound lifting restriction, you do not want to be looking for a construction job. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, it's got to be within your skill set. So if you've never done an accounting before, you've been doing manual labor all your life, and you try to go look for an accounting job, the commission is not going to count that because it's not within your skill set. So I hope I've explained the importance of looking for a job after you've been released to light duty. It's a very vital component of your claim if you're not under an open award, and how to prove your claim. If you have any more questions about this, or whether it's looking for a job after you've been released for light duty or whatever it is, any part of your case whatsoever, please give us a call on the number on the screen, or look at us online and contact us online at joemillerinjurylaw.com. Pleasure talking to you. Have a wonderful day.